officiating for many, many years, as everybody knows. Officiated at the World Championships back in 1960, 61, 62, and has been involved in officiating at all levels ever since. I might say that while we're talking about officiating, it reminds me of figure skating officials, which we're watching this afternoon. As a matter of fact, the Russian skating contingent that will be leaving for Canada to compete in Skate Canada with 13 nations at Kitchener on October 24, 25, 26, 27. And of course, those seats should be at a premium because with top skaters, 13 countries coming in, but the feature telecast on CTV, and you'll be able to check your local listings for the special times of those telecasts from Kitchener. But we were watching the Russian skaters practice here between the team practices almost every day this week. As we get set now to start the second period, it's going to be Andre Leclerc at center with Bobby Hall on left wing, Tom Webster on right wing. It's Petrov's line with Mihailov and Harlamov. A long shot from center by Ricky Lee. Goes down into the corner. And the Canadians try to move up to keep it in, but they have to come back as Lee is back at his own line, being shadowed by Petrov. Fired off the boards, and it's kind of a loose pass. It's taken by Vasiliev. Vasiliev at center right, taken by Ricky Lee. Here's Rick Lee turning. Rick Lee with Bobby Hall alongside of him. Defeats that pass, but it was intercepted. Put it right onto the stick of a Russian player. Bobby Hull now winding up at center. Back over to Andre Leclerc behind him. Has the puck, puts it in front of the net, and Hull couldn't get to it. Hull goes into the corner. Now Hull around to Leclerc. Leclerc couldn't put the puck out in front. Here it is with Webster waiting for it. And Webster never quite got the puck. Held in by Rick Lee. Leclerc has it over to Bobby Hull. Hull is bumped from behind. Fighting for it there along the boards. They tie it up against the boards and get a whistle on the play. Bobby Hull just must feel like the most crowded man in Moscow, Howie.
Well, Larry had an excellent chance to make a pass to Leclerc on his backhand, but Bobby still has that big hook in his stick, and instead of the pass going on Leclerc's stick and he being in good scoring position, it went well behind him.
Serge Bernier's line is now out there for Canada, and the whistle went before the face-off was done properly. They'll try it all over again. Jean Houle on the right side with Mark Tardif on the left side. And from the face-off, the puck goes right in front of the Soviet goal, and is Shatteloff after it. Jean Houle shadowing him down that left wing, but the puck is put over on the left side. Oh, and shot a blind pass by Bernier. Fired it back to Al Hamilton, and Hamilton wasn't ready for it. Now we have Pat Stapleton starting the Canadians away. His pass over on the right side is taken by Al Hamilton. Hamilton puts it through. Racing in after it now is Serge Bernier. Bernier fighting for it with Sigankov, who comes up with the puck. Here's that long breaking pass at center, intended for Lebedev, but he has trouble controlling it. Russians are playing the full width of the rink. It's interesting as you watch on your screen that they take the full width of the rink, and we have an offside call here. But they take a good look, they'll take a good skate, they'll throw that long pass. I want to remind everybody, too, that later today on Wide World of Sports, you'll see Canada versus Russia in gymnastics. That's quite a competition. Then, of course, the Canadian Grand Prix and the Canadian Diving Championships from Brantford, all later today on the Wide World of Sports. Back here in Moscow with just a little bit better than a minute and 45 seconds gone in the second period. This is a 2-1 hockey game with Ralph Backstrom stick handling at center. Over to Paul Schmier, number 18, to Gordie Howe. Howe has it tied up along the boards. And if Howe can't see that he's going to make a play, he'll pin it, and it's a pretty hard man to move off the puck.
I'll tell you, you won't try the second time.
Shadrian's line is out there with Lebedev on the right side. Shadrian gets the draw. Stick handles by Mark Howe. Comes up to the line. Puts the pass right onto the stick of Gordie Howe. Now Gordie Howe put it right back onto the stick, and there's a shot by Yankashev. It was blocked by the goalkeeper, Jerry Cheevers, and it slides out to the line, and finally Lebedev takes it back to center. Back out at center. This is Mark Howe, turning, number 11. with Backstrom on left wing and Gordie Howe on right wing. He shoots. The bouncing puck goes wide. Going into the corner is Mark Howe. Taken in the corner by Backstrom. Backstrom looking in front of the net to Gordie Howe. And his shot hit an ankle and came out. That's Rick Smith putting it onto the stick. Lebedev at the Canadian line trying to work his way in, but it's Gordie Howe back in the Canadian net. Howe, left wing pass over to Mark Howe. Mark Howe at center. Back over on the left side, Backstrom cutting right in front of the net. He shoots, scores! Ralph Backstrom on a beautiful passing play with Gordie and Mark Howe.
What's the youngster backhand to pass? That's the mark of just tremendous talent. Backstrom puts it between Tretiak's legs, and once again, Tretiak's waving the stick. This kid has played tremendous hockey all through the series, but look at that. A backhand pass in the air over a defender's stick. That in itself is a masterpiece that deserves to be finished off like that.
And with the score, Canada 2, the Soviets 2. This is game 7 from Moscow.
Come on, Larry, let's get the show on the road. We've been all over the place. What kind of affairs are going to be without the O'Keefe caravan? This is their dressing room, office, PA system.
Okay, wise guy. You find it.
Turn left here. Sorry. Guess we should have turned right. The O'Keefe caravan will go to any community event, if you'll tell us how to get there. Just give us a call at Sport O'Keefe.
And we're ready to go now. It's a brand new hockey game with 17 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in this second period. Canadians putting the puck inside their own zone and losing control of it. Russians have to come back out to center. But it's a 2-2 hockey game, and it's shot in their offside as the Russians are trapped. Maltsev was hurting in the last game, and there was some word that he would not play. He has not been taking every shift. He's been alternating and taking a bit of a breather. That was Jimmy Harrison who got the draw. Fires it back over on the left side to Rick Lee. Lee out to center ice to Harrison. It's rolling. Paul Henderson going in after it offside.
Just before Howe made that just beautiful pass for Backstrom's goal, he come up through center, and there were two Russians, one on either side of him, and they took out after him. And this young kid just turned on the burners and outskated them both and had a pretty good shot at Tretiak. This is what we need, young legs, fast skaters.
And it's Rick Lee at center ice. The pass over on the right side with Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie takes the pass, putting it back out in front. He shoots. They bang at it, and Tretiak holds it out, and they shoot it down the ice. And the Canadians were robbed once more. They had him down and reaching for the puck. Back comes Rick Lee, starting out in front of his own net. The pass on the left side to Jim Harrison. Harrison at the line. He shoots, and Tretiak juggles the puck. Finally holds on, then he's knocked down by Harrison. I can't honestly tell whether he did that on purpose or not, but maybe on the replay you can tell whether... I think he could have stopped.
Watch again, this great pass. Right on his stick. Yes, he put it right between his legs. Tretiak lifts the stick. But gee, McKenzie just made a fantastic pass to Harrison, and Harrison got it up high because Tretiak had to go down. And it just hit the top of his pad. Instead of popping in the air and over him, it fell in front of him, and then the Russians cleaned house.
So it's a 2-2 hockey game as Petrov faces Andre Lacroix for the faceoff. In the corner, it's Mihailov, and he was throwing a breakaway pass to Petrov, who was floating out at center ice. Now, that's a bit of a strategical switch for the Russians because they usually do that when they're up a goal or two, but here they are tied 2-2, and they had two men floating at center looking for a breakaway pass. Andre Lacroix with Bobby Hull trying to get him to draw. He does. Right here, Bobby Hull tries to get a second shot. They bang at it, and it went by the goalpost. Another shot. That's wide. Bobby Hull gets a second chance. He shoots again. That's turned aside by Tretiak. Back out to the line, and it hits Mihailov. Wherever he didn't hit him, must have gone right by him. Goes all the way down to Canadian territory and is called back for icing. I thought that hit Mihailov's stick.
Johnny, before we go any further, you just have to commend Tom Brown because these are professionals and they're acting because they have respect young referee. I haven't seen one act of violence that could lead to a shamazo.
Bobby Hull shooting. The puck is loose in front of the net. Hull is being held. The shot trickled through. The Russian defenseman had lost his stick, and then he held Hull before he could shoot. Back comes Mihailov down the left side, and Al Hamilton is over there to break it up with Pat Stapleton. At center, the pass hit a stick, and it'll go all the way down, so it won't be icing, as Petrov picks it up. Petrov with Mihailov. Mihailov. And his forward pass out to center ice, and that should be offside. It is, as Harlamov was well over the center red line, and the puck came from behind the Russian blue line. And Neeson opened the scoring, and with 1:41 gone in the opening period from Luchenko. And Sheeran from Lebedev at 13-13 made it 2-0. And Tommy Webster from Lacroix, and there you see the Canadians. Bank cheering them on out there. Webster from Lacroix at 2:18 in the first period. Then Backstrom from Gordy and Markow with 3 minutes gone in the second period, and that's the 2-2 hockey game. Here comes Paul Schmier with Mark Tardif. Tardif, number 22. Tardif's pass on the wing to Serge Bernier was off his stick. Now it's the Soviets. Here's Sadrich getting set in front of the net. They're loose. They're wide open. They bang at it. Here's another shot. They bang another one. And the goalkeeper was down, and somehow that puck stayed out. And there it got to the net. It's intercepted now by Paul Schmier. Schmier can't get that puck out. The Russians take over again. It's Lebedev, and he puts it out on the stick of Paul Schmier. Schmier out to Mark Tardif. And the Canadians had two close calls there. Wow. Now Houle bumping into Yakashev. Helps keep that puck inside Soviet territory, and the Soviets throw it all the way down, and that'll be called back for icing. And Rajon Houle is pretty effective with that hip.
Certainly is. And this Lebedev, watch him here. That's number 11. I think he'll come up with the puck. There's the pass to him. Now look at how he hangs onto it and hangs onto it. And Keever's just made a great save in all kinds of traffic. That Lebedev made a great play. And if we go a little further, now watch.
Okay, we're back out at center ice with J.C. Tremblay. A crossover to Ricky Lee. Lee's on the side. His pass intended for Gordie Howe is deflected into the corner. Then Howe is really knocked down here by the Russian player, and the Russians are going to be penalized. The Canadians have control. Play carries right on. Gordie Howe puts it back to the blue line. It bounces, and it goes wide of the net. It's taken again by the Soviets, and the whistle finally blows, and the Canadians will have a man advantage. And with the score, Canada 2, the Soviets 2. This is Game 7 from Moscow.
The Quebec Nordiques, the Toronto Toros, the Winnipeg Jets, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Vancouver Blazers will all be in one division of the WHA, the Canadian division. Add this special interest to the kind of WHA action provided by stars like you're seeing now, and you'll know why season's tickets are in great demand. To get your tickets to WHA excitement, call your local team office now. It's going to be a great year in the WHA. Make sure you're a part of it.
Canada has taken 37 penalties, and the Russians have taken just taken their 22nd penalty, as Luchenko is in the penalty box. And Canada will now have a power play. They'll have J.C. Tremblay with Bobby Hull on the defense. Ralph Backstrom will go to center with Mark Howe on left wing and Gordie Howe on right wing. And from the draw, it comes back to the line. Here is J.C. Tremblay shooting, and Tretiak grabs that one. Ralph Backstrom in for the face-off again against Petrov. Gets it. No, the puck is in a maze of legs there. Finally, they jam it out and into the corner. Sigankov has it. Sigankov, he takes it and pins it against the boards. And Ralph Backstrom goes to try to knock him off the puck, but the whistle had already blown. The last time they did that in this series, left the Russian holding the puck against the boards. They all backed away and expected a delay in the game penalty to be called, but it wasn't. So this time, Backstrom just went barreling into him. Gordie Howe on right wing. Set up Canada's tying goal. What a performer he has been. Just sensational. 46 years of age to be taking on kids who are worked 12 months of the year and getting in condition. Here's the draw back to Bobby Hull. Back across to Trombley. Trombley getting it back to Hull. Hull getting to, he shoots! Where is it? Underneath the goalkeeper, and the whistle blows, but the puck is out in front of the net. It was lost momentarily by the referee, and as a result, the whistle blew. They finally, after so many tries, got Hull set up.
That's great. I think this is the first time I've seen JC on the power play, and the problem is Hull hasn't been getting the shots. This time, JC fed him a great pass.
And here it is, back again, over to J.C. Trombley. Trombley moves in, he shoots, scores! Trombley! With Gordie Howe parked in front of the net. Somebody might have tipped that one, and Canada goes on top for the first time.
Back to Trombley, and watch Mark Howe drifting in front. Quite sure with number 11, Mark Howe. We'll look at it again. We win the draw, what you have to do. Gordie feeds it back to J.C. J.C. through a maze of players, and there's his son cutting in front, tips it, and between the legs and under the stick.
Given the goal to Mark Howe with Trombley getting the assist, and Gordie started the play. He's got to get an assist on it as well. Mark Howe from Backstrom, released from Trombley, and here we go again inside the Russian zone with Canada leading by a score of 3-2. And now they come roaring back at center ice. This is Harlamov. Harlamov. He is knocked down hard. There's going to be a penalty called here. A hooking penalty against Canada. Canada will now be a man short for the first time in the game. Russians have taken one penalty. Canada scored on it. Now it's Pat Stapleton.
I'm not so sure this is a hooking penalty. There's someone in there doing a little head hunting, and Harlamov come out of this mess here adjusting his helmet. Perhaps the penalty was given for hooking, but I would say that high sticking was the thing that sort of hurt that number 17.
That's Stapleton into the penalty box. Now we'll have Mark Howe with Ralph Backstrom, J.C. Trombley, and Rick Lee to try to kill off the penalty. Canada leading 3-2. And from the face-off, the puck comes out to center ice. It's Harlamov, number 17. Harlamov at the line, over to Petrov. Petrov back to the blue line. Here's Gusev, he shoots, scores! Gusev.
Just a great shot. There you see him go around Lee. Now look at, see, they draw everybody to him. Keevers is where he should have been, at the top of the crease. Goes around Lee here, maintains control of the puck. Right there, beats Backstrom as well. Now watch Gusev move into the slot where everybody just vacated. A shot from well out, but Keevers is set for it. This has to be a real good shot, that's all.
So on consecutive penalties, consecutive power play goals are scored, and we now have a 3-3 hockey game. And for big Alexander Gusev, that's his 4th goal of the series. 12:28 remaining in the period. The play is deep behind the Canadian net. It's J.C. Trombley trying to bring that long pass out. He does, over to Webster. Webster racing up to the blue line with Lacroix, trying to pull his way through. He is pulled down, and play carries right on. Back up inside that zone. This is Gusev, a good defenseman, a good puck carrier, stopped by Ricky Lee, but he doesn't get it out. Harlamov has it, put it out for score! And Mihailov on a beautiful passing play.
Never see a better one than this. Just watch this goal. Canada had it, didn't get it out. Watch this. Bang, bang, in. Oh, boy, what a goal. Let's look at it again. There we had a chance to get it out off the heel of the stick. Look at 17 on a bullet. Look at here. There's the goaltender. Caught on the short side. Just a goal that you'll read about. Perfect textbook goal, that one.
Now the Soviets are ahead 4-3. 2 goals in 39 seconds. Inside the Soviet zone, back comes big left winger, Mihailov, at the line, trying a drop pass now for Lebedev. Lebedev shoots, then goes wide of the net. Inside the blue line again is Sikonkov. He shoots, and that's kicked out by Jerry Cheevers. Starting out slowly with it, it's Mark Tardif. Tardif on a rink-wide pass for Rajon Houle. Houle up here with Pat Stapleton. Back to Houle, and he wasn't ready for it. Here goes Al Hamilton shooting it in from long range. 11:25 remaining in this second period. Puck is taken by Whitey Stapleton. That shot was juggled by Tretiak. Vasiliev dumps it out to center ice. Good move by Shadrin. He is finally stopped, and the play comes out to the line with Serge Bernier. Back to Stapleton to get organized. Over to Al Hamilton. Hamilton ahead to Houle. Houle has to wait because Bernier was offside. Poke check. The puck is knocked loose as Maltsev comes back. Maltsev takes a shot. Cheevers goes down, and then he blocked the shot to Kane. It's Bernier. Ahead to Houle. Houle over the line, and he can't get control of it. The Russians are now... there's being a penalty being called here. Maltsev. Way down the other end of the rink. The interference call against Maltsev. Play had already passed him by, but he was tying up somebody behind the play.
Curtis had possession of the puck outside the Soviet blue line. He just hesitated. If he'd have put it in, we'd have been offside. Well, Maltsev took it away from him and went end-to-end, and Cheevers had to come up with a great save. You're better to get an offside call to give the Russians the puck.
Bobby Hull with J.C. Tremblay. Backstrom at center with Mark Howe on left wing and Gordie Howe on right wing of the power play. Turin is out there in defense with Vikulov. Coming out now with Harlamov. Backstrom gets the draw, kicks it across to Gordie Howe. He fires it across on the open wing. Mark Howe trying to hold it in, and it's taken and cleared down the ice. This is Harlamov. Harlamov going inside the Canadian zone, but he's tied up at the side of the net by J.C. Tremblay. It's Bobby Hull with Mark Howe. Over the line to Backstrom, but he's called offside. Failing to cover. Mihailov in front of that Canadian net is deadly, and that's all he needed was just a split second to get a stick in the puck, and he put it in the net as he does so well. For Mihailov, that's his fourth goal of the series. Tremblay feeding it through to Backstrom. Backstrom trying to get that pass set up. He's tied up. Gordie Howe goes in to help out. Howe has it. It's around the back of the net. Turin has it. Now Turin gets by Mark Howe. Back come the Soviets. Leading on, then breakaway to Vikulov. Vikulov, they go in the shot. High over the glass. And it's picked off back here by Ralph Backstrom. Backstrom with Bobby Hull. Hull getting set. He shoots. Oh, and Tretiak juggled that one. A great shot by Bobby Hull that Tretiak juggled and finally held on to.
Turin was right dead in line, and we saw Bobby Hull draw back and shoot the puck. He started to fall, and I'm sure he thought he was going to get a piece of it, but the puck went with such velocity, it was between his legs and on Tretiak before he could get down. But certainly with the Russian team defending against the power play, you see how quick they get that puck up. As soon as they get it deep in their own zone, there's a 2-on-1 break, even with a man short.
We have a minute and 6 seconds left in the penalty. Bobby Hull at the point, over to Mark Howe. Russians trying to break it up. Mark Howe has it in the corner. He's being tightly tied up, has the puck, gets it back out in front, trying to get it to Gordie Howe, back to the blue line to J.C. Tremblay. Tremblay over to Howe, they shoot, they bang at it. Loose in front of the goal. They shoot. Oh, and it went by the corner as Gordie Howe missed on a great opportunity. Oh, and the Russians ice the puck. Sikonkov takes a big swan dive, but the referee pays no attention to it, and play carries right on. Here comes Bobby Hull down the left wing. He'll get a shot away here. Oh, if he doesn't wait too long, and he did, he put it into the skates. Mark Howe is hit. Puck is tied up against the boards as Backstrom is doing a bit of a shoving.
You'll watch now. I'm sure the Russian coach has said on the Canadian power play, take the shot away from Bobby Hull. Number 16, Petrov was cheating on the box in that power play. He was within 5 feet of Hull all the time, and that resulted in Gordie Howe getting an excellent chance in front of the net. Has to be something wrong with his wrist when he gets that type of shot and misses the way he missed there. There's something wrong.
24 seconds left in the Russian penalty. Jimmy Harrison goes to center. Henderson on left wing. Johnny McKenzie on right wing. And linesman Jim LeBlanc waves them both out of there. He gave them 2 opportunities to face off properly, and they didn't. That's 4. Watch McKenzie having a battle over along that face-off circle. The draw comes back to the blue line. It's held in by Al Hamilton. It hit a stick and went high into the corner. Now Paul Henderson in there fighting for it. Knocks Sickenkoff down. The puck is in underneath them. And they get a whistle on the play. Don't forget, tomorrow's game will start at the same time as today's game. Networks were able to arrange the earlier times here in Moscow, and the Soviets and Team Canada most cooperative because of football games on each day as well as hockey. Here comes Johnny McKenzie putting it into a pair of skates. He tried to slide the pass through. Here it is in front again. And the puck is loose. They kick it away and clear it down the ice. 3 seconds left to go in the Soviet penalty, and Pat Stapleton goes back of his own net. Now the Soviets are at full strength. Here comes Paul Henderson racing down the left wing, trying to put the brakes on. He does. Throws it back across in front, and it's knocked loose into the corner by Al Hamilton. Hamilton has it. Hamilton trying to put it in front of the net, and he can't get it. We have 8:21 remaining in the period. It's a 4-3 hockey game with the Soviets leading. And Lebedev winds up at his own line. At center. He's stopped by Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie tries to slide it through to Jim Harrison, and it wouldn't go. Zigankov on a rink-wide pass to Shadalov. Intercepted by Whitey Stapleton. Stapleton with Bobby Hull, and Hull goes in. But Harrison was in there ahead of him offside.
Just a tremendous hockey game with going end-to-end, great goalkeeping at both ends, tremendous passing, and the Canadian team now is starting to skate. If we can keep skating with these Russians, it's going to be a dandy.
Bobby Hull's pass to Lacroix at center ice. The Russians are really checking tight now. Bobby Hull comes in to get it a second time. But the Russians are back there to pick it up once more, and Lacroix takes it. Andre Lacroix back to Bobby Hull. Hull shoots. That was partially blocked, but he got his shot away and went wide of the net. Back come the Soviets, led on that left side by Anisin. Anisin puts the rink-wide pass across for Kapustin, but it was off. At least it would have been offside. It was way off the target, and the Canadians clear. Andre Lacroix, stick handling beautifully, turning at center to kill off. Now it's over to Paul Schmier. Schmier's checked, and the puck comes back out to Lebedev. Up here with Wikulov. Wikulov tries to skate his way through, and he can't do it. Now it's Bobby Hull with Lacroix taking the pass at center. And he's got Webster on the right wing. Webster trying to work his way in front of that net. Back out in front to Hull. And it's back to Schmier. Schmier shoots. That hits the leg and goes wide. On the left side to Maltsev. Maltsev trying to get away from Webster, and he does, around the boards. Out to Schmier and all the way down. Seems to me that they're concentrating so much on those plays, they don't call that one offside. Concentrating so much on getting that puck to Bobby Hull that they're missing chances to shoot themselves. Here comes Lacroix being stopped at the blue line. And Bobby Hull is back there with Schmier, with Rick Smith. Back over to Bobby Hull, off the boards, racing in after it. Hull, but it's offside. It's called back for icing.
You know, one of the most interesting things that I've noticed here in Russia is that when a Russian player makes a bad pass, like Anderson did to Maltsev, it's the same as in Wembley Stadium in front of 100,000 people when there's a bad soccer pass. They appreciate or are so good, are so used to people making good passes that they actually boo a bad pass.
After the face-off, the puck is turned aside in front of the goal. Shot around the boards to Réjean Houle. Houle is coming up in front of his own net. Now he's a good skater if he gets in stride. There's that forward pass, trying to breakaway pass there to Bernier. It's onside. And Bernier's trying to put it back to the blue line, but it's knocked down by Rick Lieb at center ice. Rink-wide pass again for Mark Tardif, but it was way up in the air. The Soviets take it on the backhand side. Petrov turns it around. But it's picked up now by Rajon Houle. Rajon Houle is being checked from behind by Mihailov. And the puck goes to center. Russians are coming back like a house afire. Here comes Rick Lee off the boards to Tardif. Tardif racing in, trying to get it in front of the net. A backhand shot. That does not get through as it hit a leg. Over to Rajon Houle again in the corner. And it's cleared over on that left wing with a breakaway pass down that left side. Here comes Harlamov, puts the brakes on, dumps it in front of the net. And Petrov couldn't get to it. 22, Mark Tardif. Tardif trying to work his way out. Stick handles to his own blue line. At center, dumps it in. It's in there with Mark Tardif. Here's Bernier. Bernier in front, he shoots. Hits the side of the net as he let a low quick shot go. Ricky Lee goes in to keep it in, puts it back out in front. Here's J.C. Tremblay right over the top of the net. And Houle puts it in front. That hit a stick back out in front to Bernier. Bernier had a blazing shot, and Tretiak stopped that one. This Bernier is going to wind up, he'll never sleep again. The shots he's missed. Here's a shot that's in front, and it's just wide of the net. Back again comes Mihailov for the Soviets. Mihailov racing out at center. Picked off now by Mark Tardif. Tardif pulls it by one, gets by another. He's tripped, and the play carries right on. Back come the Soviets. Led at center ice now by Mihailov. He shoots a low shot. Then he races to the benches. They're changing on the go. Now the Canadians clear it down the ice, and that'll be called for icing.
Johnny, as this game progresses, the more and more I realize that the lack of bodily contact is acted in our favor. So many times now, the Russians, instead of finishing the check and taking us off the puck, are coming one-handed, pulling up, and we're getting good play after good play because they're not checking.
Right from the face-off, Jerry Cheevers catches it and throws it to Stapleton. Stapleton up on the right side with Tardif. Back to Gordie Howe. Head on the wing, and this time it's Backstrom. To Stapleton. They lose control of it. Back out in front. Shadron shoots. Oh, and a great save by Jerry Cheevers. Mark Howe races down that left side at the blue line. Tries to get by Sigankov. He's got Gordie in front of the net, and the shot was too high for him to hit. Back at the blue line. Here comes 2-on-2. The Soviets led by Sigankov. Looking for that left wing pass. There's a shot. Hit the goal post. Now it's Mark Howe tying him up. Gordie Howe ties up another. Puck comes out to the blue line to Lebedev. Lebedev shoots, and that's blocked by Mark Howe. Howe carries it into the corner. He knocks down the Russian player, Kapustin. Taking it off now is Al Hamilton. Hamilton's rink-wide pass, and nobody there. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left to go in the second period. The Soviets leading 4-3, offside at the Canadian line.
We just saw a bad pass on that 3-on-2 rush where Shadrin threw it to Kapustin. But it hit Kapustin's skate at such an angle that it was up on his stick, just lightning fast, and he let a shot go, and it hit the post on the short side. It should have gone in. Lots of room for it to go in, but didn't. But the way he put that puck from his skate to his stick and shoot it, they're pretty good with their feet.
Sergei Gushin, the Russian linesman, drops the puck. And the Soviets now with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in this second period, and they lead. Oh, a beautiful hip check there by Paul Henderson sent Neeson sprawling. Now it's Vikulov coming back at center. It's taken by Schmier. Schmier is McKenzie. McKenzie ahead. At the line is Harrison racing in. Taken by Maltsev around the back of the net, intercepted. This time by Johnny McKenzie over to Schmier in front of the goal. They shoot. It's blocked. It's a loose puck. And it's cleared to the line, but not out. Here comes Vikulov down the left wing. The Soviets really came close that time to having one scored on them. It's offside. Backstrom, Howe, Gusev, and Mihailov doing the scoring in this period.
Team Canada is beginning to use the same tricks the Russians have. Here's that check. Wow. Henderson checking and checking extremely well. But just a moment ago, Team Canada carried it in deep, and Schmier snuck in the slot and had a real good shot.
2 minutes, 35 seconds left in the second period. Now it's Bobby Hull after a loose puck. Turning. Leaves it back here for Rick Lee. Lee in front of his own goal. Forward. Russians dangerously close in front of their own goal, but it's now taken and clear to the line, and finally out to center. They've got that man sitting up there. It's Harlamov with great speed. Harlamov trying to get around J.C. Trombley. He tried to drop a pass there for Petrov, but Petrov wasn't there. Now it's J.C. Trombley with Hull winding up on the wing with Lacroix. At center ice. Here's Trombley shooting. Shot is caught and held on by Tretiak.
I thought that pass from Hull to Lacroix. Lacroix was right up through the middle, and he just missed it. I thought he was home free, Johnny. He just got a little excited.
From the draw, it's back here to Webster. Webster shoots, and Tretiak got his stick on that one. Ricky Lee races in for it. It's around the back of the net. Lee with Lacroix. They hold it against the boards. Now look at the... I did not see that. Was that steering? They're claiming steering. There's Mihailov, number 13, racing in. The Russian player went down. Petrov, number 16. Tom Brown, the referee, was right there on top of the play. What is there? I don't know if there's a replay on that, or we can get that back because we'd like to see it. The Soviets will not replay on their machine anything except the goal, so we have our own machine that sometimes we can replay for you on things that are not otherwise shown. But apparently we don't have this one. Minute and 39 seconds remaining in this second period. The play comes out to center ice. It's Yakushev. Yakushev with Shadreen. Shadreen is bumped in there by Rick Lee. And is taken by Bobby Hull back of the net with Rick Lee. Lee back over on the corner. Dumps it out to J.C. Trombley. Trombley racing down the right side. The pass goes right through. Sigankov got a stick on it, and Shadalov clears. It's going to be held in by Lee. Here's Rick Lee. He gets a shot, bouncing it in front, and it's grabbed by the defenseman Shadalov, and he holds on for the whistle. In this period, Bill Hunter, the team manager, will talk to Don Chevrier. We'll show you the microwave system that carries the signal from Moscow to Canada sometimes, and we'll show you Howie Meeker's analysis of this second period. On the face-off, it's shot back into a maze of legs. This is Tardif fighting for it, but he can't get loose. Tardif still straps for it, puts it onto the stick of Yakushev. Yakushev has it. He clears it out to the line. 54 seconds remaining as we have Lebedev coming in front of that net, and the shot is blocked and held onto there by Al Hamilton. Al Hamilton, playing his first game over here, is a 28-year-old veteran. Doing a great job for Canada tonight. There you see 49 seconds remaining in the second period, with the Soviets leading by a score of 4-3. High shot hits the stick and goes into the corner. That's Hamilton fighting for it. He loses control as Yakushev has it, and Hamilton bumps him along the boards. Yakushev still has it. Hamilton bumps him a second time and then comes up with the puck. Puts it out of the stick of Tardif. Tardif with Lacroix. Lacroix with Bernier. Here we go, racing in. The puck is loose. And we have 25 seconds to go. Canadians inside Soviet territory. There's Bernier. Rink-wide pass intercepted. Jean Houle trying to put it away. He ties up the Russian player too tightly. And it's Mark Tardif coming up with the puck. Over on the wing to Jean Houle. Houle shoots! That's wide of the net. Going in the opposite corner, it's Shadalov with the buzzer sounding to end the second period. So this is a period where Canada finally took the lead after Backstrom had tied it. Howe put him ahead. Howe tied it, then Gusev and Mihailov came roaring back to tie it up and put the Russians ahead again. And that's the way it is at the end of the second period of play. By far the best game of the series over here in Luzhniki Stadium so far. Mikhailov's goal coming at the 12:01 mark in this second period, and that's what has given them the lead. Shots on goal by Canada, 13, and by the Soviets, 7. So it gives you quite an indication of the advantage Canada had, but Tretiak was beating them. And so with the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 3, this is Game 7 from Moscow.